it gets quite complicated because what she had done at that time is she knew I was coming into the money. She borrowed money against the house because it was in her name off the local Thai Mafia.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Macam and Tide. It's Expat Chats. Our first guest is John Harvey. He's from South Shields in England and he's been coming here for many years. It seems like forever. The first question I asked John was, how long have you been coming to Thailand?
I've been coming here from 2000, just after the turn of the century. We came here in March 2000, me and my best mate Mickey Ray.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, 22 years ago.
You'll have been getting a lot more money for your pound then, a lot more baht for your pound then.
Indeed we were. It was around about 74 baht to the pound when we first arrived here. The reason we came was I'd just gone through a rather messy divorce. I mean, I don't think there's any simple divorces.
Yeah.
And my mate Mickey, his mother tragically died of cancer after a long struggle.
Right.
And we're just sitting in the bar one day and thinking, you know, we need a holiday, but we didn't really know where to go. In those days I had hair and I went to Vern's barber. I did have hair, I haven't got hair now, but I went to Vern's barber and I was sitting talking to Vern and he'd just come back from Thailand, would you believe? So this is how we got onto the Thailand topic.
Right.
And I went back to Mickey and I says, how about Thailand? And he says, yeah, it sounds good to me, you know, sun, sand and all the rest of it. So we ended up booking up relatively quickly. Good old Vern gave us some pointers. He produced a list of phrases which might be handy for, like when we got here, would you believe, give us a little sheet with things like Sawadee Kap for hello, Sabai Di Mai, how are you, what was it, Cherai Kap, what's your name, what else do important ones, Pom Lakun, I love you. I was saying that relentlessly over the 4 weeks I was there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And another
Very
one,
important, that one.
Yeah, Taurai Kap. How much is it? It's another one I used quite a lot over the first 4 weeks. But anyway, we got our flights through Emirates. No, it wasn't through Emirates. Emirates came later on. We went with China Airways then via Amsterdam. Got our flights. It was a bit of a package, and we had 3 nights in Bangkok when we first got there.
Right, okay.
Didn't know what to expect at all. We got a taxi from the airport, which was pre-arranged, took us to the hotel, showered, and then got ready to go out for our first night in Thailand. Did
you stay near Nana Plaza?
Yes, but we didn't know that at the time.
Right.
Funnily enough,
Okay.
we're very close. We're within 100 metres of Nana Plaza. I think it was the Amari, the hotel, but very close to Nana Plaza, but we didn't know that. So we gets out there and would have these ideas about what Thailand was like, and we saw this tuk-tuk and we says, take her to a bar full of girls, will you? So this tuk-tuk driver, he must have been driving an hour, and eventually we arrived at some bar which was way out away from the hotel, and we gets in there. All I can remember is that there was, must have been 50 girls all dressed in green. I had no idea what to do with these girls, so we just sat there drinking basically, and then they put a karaoke on, and me and Mickey ended up singing karaoke songs.
That's no surprise.
Singing karaoke songs, and we left the bar and the girls, totally oblivious to what was expected. And then that was my first night in Bangkok. I can remember that, and I can remember the second day. We got up, I was jet lagged, feeling terrible, hungover. And I had a little walk outside, and I came across Nana Plaza, would you believe, which was just around the corner to the hotel. And I noticed all these massage places, and I thought, oh, that sounds good, you know, I'm really tired here. I thought, we'll pop in and have a massage, you know. So in I went. I seen there was a price thing outside. I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't much, maybe 150 baht or something like that at the time. So I thought I'll lie down and have a massage. And it's, you know, the idea was good then, and I lay down. And the woman said to us, take your underwear off. I mean, I'd never had a massage like this before, you know, so there I was, totally buff naked, and it was a full body massage, wasn't it? And the price wasn't 150, there was additional costs apparently, which I had to pay when I left. So those were the first couple of days in Bangkok, and that's all I can remember about Bangkok really. Next day, we're off to Pattaya, taxi to Pattaya. Vern, the hairdresser, said to go to Soi 2 because he'd been to a place called the Sabai Lodge. So we headed for Soy 2, and the taxi dumped me in the middle of Soy 2, and there was Sabai Lodge Hotel, and I remember the room I was in was room 512. You might think that a bit strange remembering that after all these years, 22 years ago. But on a night time, me and Mickey, when we got into the swing of things, used to stand on Soy 2, which was heavily laden with bars at the time. It was a big bar area, and we used to sing boom, 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 take me to my room, Sabai Lodge 512, and I think his was 509, so it stuck with us over the years. You know, and we spent a lot of time on Soy 2. It was a very popular soy at the time, like I say. We used to drink in a Thai bar, which was situated opposite another bar, which was called the Zebra Bar, which some American con man had. He conned one of my mates out of money, actually, as well. His name was Drew Noy, I think his name was, and he had a black and white zebra, as you can imagine, being a Zebra Bar, outside his bar. So me and Mickey, we bought a plaster cast zebra and we painted it red and white, because we're Sunderland supporters, you know. And all the customers that came in, we used to put their names on. And we used to have all the custom on Soy 2, and Drew used to sit in his bar across the road, absolutely hating this. And he hated us. One day Mickey went across to his bar because they were arguing, and they ended up rolling around the floor fighting. But I don't know, Drew got his comeuppance in the end. He ended up in jail out in Thailand here. He's pretty well connected. He conned a lot of people out of money, but he did get put away in the end. So that was us initially on Soy 2.
So you did 4 weeks your first time here.
Yeah.
As many other people do and as I did, I think as soon as you get back you probably would have booked up to come back again.
I did. Well, I returned, but my mate Mickey didn't. My mate Mickey was still out there. We had booked for 4 weeks. I went home, and within the first week I'd booked up again for a return visit in 3 months' time, which was the earliest I could get out here, work permitting. Mickey, he stayed here for 4 years. Which is quite an extension to his initial 4-week holiday.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he was left some money, and I think he stayed out here as long as his money would last, to be fair.
Right.
And he says to this day he's never regretted it. During the period of time he was out here, he met his now and his current wife. They've been together over 20 years. So it was a fruitful time for him. He had a couple of experiences along the way, as we all do. I remember one in particular. I don't know if he wants us to quote this, but we'll tell you anyway. Early on, he was seeing a girl called Nim. Now, Nim was a cashier at the Bodega bar. Our English wasn't very good. Mickey used to go back and see her quite regularly, and eventually Nim moved in. She moved in with Mickey, and they would sit all cuddled up on a night time. Mickey would teach her English, and everything was hunky-dory. One weekend, Nim says, "Look, I'm off to Bangkok to see my family or friends." I can't remember which one it was. But away she went Friday. Got to Monday. Mickey's looking, where's Nim? Nim wasn't back, was she? Nim didn't come back on Monday. Tuesday, still no Nim. Got to Wednesday. Now Mickey's starting to get a little bit worried. I thought, well, has something happened to Nim? You know, could have been anything. So Nim, you know, he pops down to the Bodega bar, speaks to the girls in the Bodega bar. "Hey, where's Nim gone?" "Oh, Nim marry man from Germany." So Nim upped and left and went to live in Germany. I've heard similar stories over the years.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things in Thailand. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you've just got to expect the unexpected and you'll be all right.
Yes, I was going to make that point later on, but yes, you're right. Expect the unexpected here, because that's what can happen. For me, I returned again a couple of months later. I was only here for about 3 weeks on that occasion, and I can't remember anything about it. From the moment I landed to the moment I got back, I was just drinking constantly. I can remember one thing though. We used to drink quite regular, as I say, on Soy 2, and there was a bar there, Classroom 2, and had a big sign above it saying "Man is King." And I think at that particular time, man truly was king. You were getting 70 odd baht to the pound. Everything was about half the price that it is now. You couldn't spend your money, and it was a fantastic time to come to Thailand.
So if you look at that period then and how much you were paying, and obviously the costs were low, the baht to the pound was high.
Yeah.
And then you've been back. Say, let's move on, because we obviously couldn't go through every single year you've been here.
Yeah.
If we move on to, say, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Well, after about, when was it? a couple of years, I'd had a couple of short-term relationship with Thai girls. I met a girl called Rachani, we'll call her. That was a proper name. I met her in Pattaya. I started sending her some money so she didn't have to go to work. So she stopped work. Within a year, we got married, and I bought a house in Pattaya Lagoon, which is where I'm sitting at this particular moment in time, not far from my house. And things appeared to be rosy. So in those days it was very, very easy to get a visa, very simple. Anybody could do it for you. So I got my visa for her, and she come and moved to the UK. And we lived there for a number of years. In total, we're together about 10 years, I would say. I met her in about 2004, and she fell pregnant, and we had our first baby girl in 2006, Natalie. Things were going well. It was a fantastic time. Didn't appear to be any problems on the horizon. And it stayed that way, I would say, until we'd been together approximately 7 or 8 years. We'd been saving money for a holiday. Had about £8,000 in the bank, and Rachani decided to put all of that £8,000 into roulette machines in South Shields Town Centre bookies. So nice. that was the first thing. And I think she probably got this gambling addiction from her mother, who I fell out with early on in our relationships, because we bought a motorbike, and within a week she'd lost it playing cards.
Right.
It's just one of those things that happened. Things settled down a little bit. We'd never planned to have any more children. Certainly I didn't want any more, but lo and behold, after we'd been together approximately 9 years, she marched in to the house and announced she was pregnant. So that was a shock with me in my 50s.
Would have been.
An absolute shock. Our relationship deteriorated a bit from there, but I got my head around the idea we're having another child. And ultimately I'm extremely happy that we did. We had the baby. Things appeared to be a little bit normal, and Bo decided to take the baby out to Thailand because she wanted the baby to see her mum, who wasn't very well. And that seemed a reasonable idea, so off she toddled on the aeroplane to Thailand with this tiny little baby girl, Olivia. Time passed by. She was away a couple of months, I would say. Then she decided to come back home to England with the baby. When she got to Newcastle Airport, I went up to meet her, and she didn't appear to recognise us for whatever reason. I'm not really sure as to the exact reason why. I can speculate. But anyway, we got her home eventually, and that's when the relationship totally broke down. She'd clearly been on some kind of drink or drugs. I don't know which. I'm not going to speculate too much, but we got the mental health team involved, and the local GP, who said that she appeared to be a paranoid schizophrenic, which had been triggered by either drink or drugs, and she seemed to blame me for everything. And he says that it's likely that I would be a prominent cause of this if I stayed around, which I tried to do for a number of months.
Right. Difficult time.
It was a very, very difficult time. Yeah, very, very difficult time, especially with a newborn baby. And during this period, she also announced that she had a Thai boyfriend and didn't love us anymore. So that's where we were.
Well,
brand new baby. Wouldn't talk to us without music on at full blast because she thought I was bugging the house. And eventually I couldn't take it anymore. I upped and left with a few of my belongings in my car. I was still working at this point. I was a communication supervisor working for Northumbria Police. And I would spend my time between work, sleeping in the car and sleeping in my friend's bedroom. Also, coincidentally, would you believe, and she knew this, redundancies were available at work. which would mean for me a pension and quite a large payout of money. Coincidence, you might think. Thai boyfriend now wants to separate, and I'm about to come into quite a quantity of money. But there you go. So my house was empty out in here in Thailand. I came into possession of about 7 million plus baht, and I thought, what am I doing here, sleeping in my car in England when I can be sitting in my house in Thailand? So I jumped on the plane and got into my house in on Betrayal Lagoon in Thailand, where I promptly seemed to lose the plot. I've got all that money, my marriage is broken down, and my wife had the kids at the time, and I didn't really know where I was going with it all. So I went and got drunk for a couple of months. During this period I met a girl called Bozo. The relationship was quite slow at first. I didn't really build up at all in the initial stages. And I was still living at the house in Betrayal Lagoon. Then one day, out of the blue, my wife turns up with the 2 kids on my doorstep with a Thai boyfriend in tow. She dumped the 2 kids, 8-month-old and 8 years old, on my doorstep. So there I was in Pattaya with my 2 young children.
Totally unexpected.
Totally unexpected.
Wow.
I didn't know it was going to happen. And I didn't really know where to turn from there. It did stop us drinking so much. I had 2 kids to bring up. I used to go out occasionally, and I kept the relationship going with Bozo, who unbelievably stuck by us. She was a young, pretty girl, and I'm sure she had plenty of options at the time. And she stayed with us throughout this period, and she eventually moved in. She's the only mother that Olivia has really ever known. I mean, Olivia's 8 years old now, and she hasn't seen her birth mother since she was 8 months, and she certainly can't remember her, and she only knows Bozo as her mum.
And is she in Thailand, or is she in the UK?
No, well, my ex-wife Rachani's story continues, because she went off with a Thai man. It gets quite complicated, because what she had done at that time is she knew I was coming into the money. She borrowed money against the house because it was in her name, off the local Thai Mafia. Yes, so she borrowed money off the Mafia, who appointed a lawyer to say they were going to take possession of the house unless money was repaid to them. So Rachani came up with some figure which was outrageous at first, asking for half of me redundancy money. I think it was 3.5 million baht or something she wanted. I says I wasn't going to pay that. The house wasn't worth much more than that. I thought they might as well just take it. You know, the house was only worth probably about 4 million at the time. So she reduced the figure to 2.5 million baht. So I had a good think about it, the house being worth 4 million, or pay her 2.5 million. So that's what I did. I paid 2.5 million baht to her as a payoff, in order to sign the divorce documents, which she did. We went down the Ampere at Banglamung and signed the divorce papers. And then I had the house transferred into a company name. I used 888 Lawyers, a little plug for them, because they were absolutely excellent for both the divorce and the transfer of the property. Superb. And the house has been in a company name ever since. Rachani went off with a Thai boyfriend, and they had another baby, would you believe? And she promptly left him with the baby in the village and went to live in London, where I believe she is to this day and time.
So she's living in the UK.
She's living in the UK.
But she's never seen her little girl.
She's never seen the little girl. She's never had any inclination to see her. She's seen the older one on 1 or 2 occasions, and it's always ended in tears. They clearly don't get on.
It's probably, from your point of view, better anyway. I would have thought.
Absolutely, I'm quite happy for her to be out of the picture completely. I mean, our plans now. I mean, I've been with Bozo now for 7.5 years. She's been living in the UK for the last 2 years and things have been going exceptionally well. But the plan is for her to return here after a visa expires in September, and she'll be bringing Olivia here. And the intention is to get legal guardianship for her, for Olivia. It makes things simpler when she's out here. So that I'll get the ball rolling on that one when I get back to England. The older one, she goes to college now. She's studying to be a nurse.
So she's happy. She's happy in the UK.
Yeah, she's got a long-term boyfriend. Initially, she wanted to come back out here with me, but now I'll probably spend my time between here and the UK until the older daughter Natalie's old enough. She's settled at university in a couple of years' time, and then I'll sell up the house in the UK. My mortgage is up soon, and I'll move here permanently.
Well, you're in a pretty good situation as to do that, aren't you? Because you've got your house obviously in the UK.
Yeah.
And you've got your house here.
Yeah, I've got the 2 houses. I hope to use the money wisely this time, as opposed to spending it all on alcohol like I did the first time. When I sell the house in the UK, I hope to invest it in property. But we'll see how that goes.
Well, you say you spent it all on the alcohol, but it was better than wasting it, wasn't it?
Absolutely, as George Best would say. I know where he come from with that one. Yeah, it was a fantastic period, I have to say, but if I'd been a little bit more wise, I would have saved some of the money. Okay, that's the end of part 1. John's back in a couple of days. If you want to know when part 2 is released, then subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell, and when it comes out, you will be the first to know.